Hi folks, welcome once again to Pete's Kitchen Garden. It's Saturday the 11th of June. Just got back from work and it's lovely to be back in the garden again. We had a really good downpour last night, so everything's had a really good water in, and it's sort of really brought everything along quite nicely. It's not bad today, you know, it's a bit cloudy, but it's certainly warm enough. I'd say it's probably about 20 degrees at the minute, so not too bad at all. Just going to be a quick tour. A couple of things have happened since the last video, not a great deal, because it's really that time of year now when you just sort of, most things you just need to be patient and wait for them to grow. Those overwintering garlic, I think I'm going to take them out in the next week or two. They are just about ready. I did a sort of little part reveal in the last video, and they were looking really good, so I was worried about them because we had quite a wet winter, a warm winter but quite a wet one, and wasn't sure how they'd do, but they're looking brilliant. Overwintering garlic, so if I get a good harvest I'll probably try them again next year. The onions coming along nicely, as they should do this time of year. As I walk along, just sort of notice the bedding plants in the border there, looking fantastic, some really nice colour. The leeks are doing nicely. Got these two rows here, coming along just fine. Okay, so a couple of videos ago I mentioned that the slugs had eaten a row of the lettuce, and basically what I have is some larger lettuce that are nearly ready to harvest, and some that have, you know, just germinating really. So what I've cheated, I bought these from B&Q in one of those packs that you get, just to sort of fill the space in between really, so we don't have you know, we don't run out. Got slug pellets down now, so again I've also got the grids down. Whenever I've freshly worked soil, I've probably mentioned it before many times, the cats come and dig it and do the business, so put them down, and I'll keep them on until the lettuce get to a size, you know, while I can still comfortably remove them basically without damaging the lettuce. Swede doing absolutely fine. These beetroot are now really starting to perk up. Brassicas. So obviously since I put this net on, you can't really see the brassicas that well. I don't know if I can get a bit closer. There's a row of radish just sort of to the right there that I put in, just to sort of fill a bit of space. Black Magic kale, that's coming along nicely. Broccoli, Calabrese, which is roaring along now. We've got the red ball kale, I don't know how well you can see that, the red ball kale and cauliflower. And since I put this net on, obviously it's kept the wood pigeons off. It'll hopefully keep the cabbage whitefly off as well, and nothing else has been eaten under there, so happy days. The other border, everything coming along nicely. Those summer bulbs all coming through now amongst the evergreens, and a few more weeks and hopefully they'll be starting to flower. Remember last video I was put these oriental lilies in, and they're starting to just get buds on them now. You see one just there. Strawberries flying along, and there's quite a few strawberries on them actually. There's a few you can see down there. Each plant's probably got about 5, 6, 7, maybe more strawberries on at the minute, and I've got 6 plants in there altogether, so they're doing fine. Sugar snap peas, look at them babies, coming along beautifully, starting to form pods now. The spring onion still doing well, they're not far off harvesting. These are the lettuce that are nearly ready to take. I mean, I could take them like that to be honest, and I may well have a few leaves off them a bit later on for tea, make a bit of a salad. Another lot of spring onion, and the cut and come again salad leaves which we cut, and they are definitely coming again. Quick walk into the polytunnel. Now, I say, before I did this video, got back from work, had a walk around, and do you know what? I can't complain about anything. Everything seems to be doing really well. So these tomatoes, the Cordon variety, the Shirley, if I can just get in there, we're starting to get tomatoes. How fantastic is that? And to be honest, it's a little bit sort of early really. I mean, as I mentioned before, I was well ahead with these. You know, for early June to start getting these forming is quite good. I mean, I've seen a lot of other people's videos who put them in at, to be honest, a far more sensible time. Obviously their plants are much smaller, so everything's good at the minute. I'm just hoping, look, there's a little bit of sun scorch on the odd leaf here and there, but you know what, the fruits are forming well, and generally they're looking very healthy. The bush tomatoes, plenty of flowers on. Not started forming tomatoes yet, but we've got bags of time yet. Look at my cucumbers. And if I can just sort of get in amongst them, because there are quite a few flowers on here, you see them there. On each plant, to be honest, I mean they're sort of mostly hidden by the foliage. You see another one there. But yeah, they're just looking fantastic. Liam's beetroot that he insisted on putting in this pot. I think they'll have to go out fairly soon, so we'll find somewhere in the garden and I'll let him put those out. If you have young kids, you know, and they want to help you out in the garden, you know what, just give them a pot, some compost and a few seeds. Just, you know, give them a little bit of something to do. You know, it's great to get the kids involved. You know, and I think it's a really good thing for them to know and understand where their food comes from. That's the other lettuce that I was on about. So obviously I've got those, I've got the large ones, but sort of nothing in between, which is why I cheated and bought that row from B&Q. There's nothing wrong with these strips of veg that you buy from B&Q. I mean, certain things like spring onions, radish, I wouldn't bother with them. But such as the lettuce and things like that. Look, if you haven't got a greenhouse, or you know, you sort of haven't got the time, or it's getting on a bit in the season and you want to get started, there's nothing wrong with buying the ones that you get in strips. You know, or as I say, if the only time I really buy them is if I have a bit of a disaster, or the slugs eat something, or you know, I'll tend to put a crop in, because things like lettuce, etc., I do like to have a continuous supply. A couple of peppers at the back there, doing absolutely fine. Again, it's just a little bit of sun scorch on these leaves, but the plants are generally healthy, so not going to worry about that. These beetroot, took a few of these out actually, because they've reached a sort of decent golf ball size. I said I was going to take these as baby beets, and that has freed up space for me to put these peppers in the polytunnel border. The reason I've done this for a couple of reasons really. Firstly, because every year I've grown peppers. Well, I say every year. I've 2 years running, and I've never had great success with them. Last year something ate them all, and I think sometimes, with peppers, overwatering can be an issue as well. But having them in here, I mean, well, look at them. I mean, they're starting to excuse me, they're starting to flower now. So yeah, looking really good. They look really happy there, to be honest. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, this year I'll get some decent peppers. I mean, we've just had some. Normally at this time in the season at work, when we stop doing a lot of the veg, we get really large pepper plants and tomato plants that already have sort of decent sized peppers on them and decent sized tomatoes. Now, absolutely nothing wrong with buying those, because you're still going to have fresh peppers, but I'm determined to. I mean, these were cheap because I bought these as plants. You remember earlier on in the season, my peppers all died. I think it was just a cold night and they just wilted, and I couldn't revive them, so I've had to cheat. But I did buy these as quite small plants, so I have the satisfaction of having mostly grown them from being quite small. But I am bloody determined next year I am going to grow peppers from seed and be successful with it. If it takes me the rest of my life, I'm not going to stop trying. We love peppers, so it is something that for us is really worth growing. I don't grow chilies just because we use so little. You know, I mean, if I do use chili, I'll probably use half a chili, you know, once in a blue moon. So it's not really worth growing them. I don't really bother growing things that we don't eat, because it seems a little bit pointless, to be honest. But I know a lot of people do love chilies, so you know, fair play. Just gonna show you these actually. Gutter in. This is something that I do every year, put a couple of pieces of gutter in, and I've got only sown in half of it because I want succession here, so there's some more cut and come again salad leaves there, and we've got some more radish coming along, which is the multicolour variety, the Marshall's mix, which are okay, they're quite nice peppers, but I don't think that they're as quite as juicy as the normal sort of red ones that I've grown in the past, so I don't know if I'll bother with them next year. Like I say, they're alright, they taste okay, you know, they're still better than the shop bought ones, but I don't know, I think we'll go back to the red ones. The same with the multicoloured beetroot that we've grown this year. They're okay, but to be honest, the Baltardis are a little bit better, so I think I'll stick with those next year. But, you know, they're not a failure, they're growing, you've got to try these things, so, you know, happy days. Mint roaring along as you would expect. Nasturtiums starting to flower. This nasturtium flowering, beautiful red flower on there, and very, very tasty indeed. I'm not so keen on the leaves, but the flowers are lovely. Some geraniums there. And then the potatoes, which had a really good soak last night with the rain, and look, it's done them the world of good. There's actually 4 pots there. There's 2 pots of first earlies, 2 pots of main crop, and both the first earlies and this tub of main crops, am I getting that in shot there? I'm trying to get the flowers in. I'm not going to waste too much time, but they are starting to flower now. The carrots coming along beautifully, absolutely nothing wrong with those at all. These are a second early Ouija. Now, I was saying earlier, everything in the garden is doing really good. I'm slightly concerned about these, firstly because they're so small. And you see the first earlies next to them that were put in at exactly the same time. Now, I know these are second earlies, and I know that they grow slower, but when you consider that my main crops are that big, I don't know, they just seem small. You know, the foliage, you know, I don't know what's going off underneath there. But what I have noticed, and I've never grown Ouija before, so perhaps if anyone knows what this is and could maybe leave, you know, something in the comments section, I'd be very grateful. These leaves have some, you see, there. You see those little spots on the leaves? Does anybody know what they are? Because I haven't got a clue. I don't know if it's something I should be worrying about, if it's something that these leaves should do naturally, so if anybody does know, please, you know, don't hesitate to put something in the comments, or if you've got any other questions or anything at all, please, as I say, comment section, I will always try and reply to you. And that is about it, folks. Just quickly, herbs there. I've actually squashed some more thyme in here as well, because I bought this, and of course this is lemon thyme, but my wife's not that keen on it. I'm really the only one that's eating it, and we hadn't at work, we've only just got this thyme in. All we've had for most of the season so far is the lemon thyme, so I've got this and just squeezed it in there. I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. We do use a lot of thyme. Lovely little flowers there as well. So that's about it, folks. Just a quick update. Everything's coming along nicely. I hope that you guys watching are all having a good, successful growing year. So until next time, thanks for watching, guys. Take care. Bye for now.